Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and talk about the homework that we had for dilations. So, dilations is pretty much just expanding or contracting the given pre-image that we're working with. So if we look at number one, we're going to take this, and it says that we have an image here, a quadrilateral, because we've got four vertices. We have a Z, an I, an A, and a Q. And this says that we're going to dilate it by a factor of 0.25. Okay? So this scale, this scalar right here of 0.25, if this number, let's just call it K, is between 0 and 1, then we're going to shrink the image. Okay? However, if K is greater than or equal to 1, then we're going to enlarge it. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have here. We have 4 points. Let's go ahead and just mark those 4 points. We have I, and I is going to be, actually that's not I prime, it's just I. Okay, so we have I, and our point here is going to be 0, 0. We have A, which is going to be 2, negative 2. We're going to have Q, which is 3, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, we're going to have Z, which is going to be negative 1, negative 4. Now, we understand that this is the indication for a transformation, this arrow right here, and we're moving from our pre-image of I to our image of I prime. So we're moving from our pre-image of A to our image of A prime, and Q prime, and Z prime. So again, this scalar right here, using our rule of dilation, our rules of dilation indicate that as we move from our original ordered pair, our pre-image, we are going to be applying a scalar of k to the x and a scalar of k to the y. So in this case right here, I prime, we take our original x and we're going to multiply it by 0.25. Let's just go ahead and keep that in order here just for a second. Since our rule says our scalar is going to be k, then let's just go ahead and label it as such. So our scalar is 0.25, and our original x is going to be 0. Alright, again, our scalar is 0.25, and now our original y is also 0. Okay, so let's look at A prime. A prime, again, we have our scalar 0.25, and we're multiplying that to our original x, which is 2. Again, our scalar 0.25, and we're multiplying that to our original y, which is negative 2. Okay, and we'll do that for each one of these prime values, our images right here. So let's just kind of step down here and we'll go ahead and simplify our I prime, A prime, Q prime, and Z prime. So we have I prime, and we know that 0.25 times 0 is just 0. 0.25 times 0 is 0. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at 0.25 times 2. 0.25 times 2 for A prime is going to be 0.5. Alright, 0.25 times negative 2 is negative 0.5. Alright. And Q prime, again, we are applying 0.25 times our original x. So 0.25 times our original x is going to be 0.75, which is 3/4 in fractions. And then we have 0.25 times a negative 4, and that's going to be negative 1. And for the last one, finally, we have z prime. We have negative 1 times a 0.25, which is negative 0.25. And we're going to have a negative 4 times a 0.25, which is also going to be negative 1. So these are our points of our image. So we'll come up here and we'll go ahead and plot those. 0, 0 for I. We have 0.5 and negative 0.5, and that's going to be A prime. Okay, we label our points as we go. Q prime is going to be 0.75 and negative 1. We're shrinking our figure quite a bit here. It's going to be Q prime. And then finally we're going to have negative 0.25 and negative 1. And you can see that when we reduced this by 1/4, or 0.25, we've got quite a small shape here. So it's important for us to keep our graphs very clean and neat as we do this. And of course now this is going to be our image as we connect all of our dots. Okay, and that will be the image for number 1. So let's look at one that we will be expanding on. Okay, so let's look at number 8. Okay, so same thing. We're going to extract our points. So we have our points E, H, and T. Again, our scalar is 2. Our original point here is negative 1, 2. H, we have our x is 2, y is 2. And T is going to be negative 1, negative 1. Okay, so as we apply our transformation, now we have E prime. Our scale is going to be 2. We're factoring, or we're dilating this by a factor of 2. So we're going to have our scalar here as 2, multiplying to our original x. And then again, our scalar here, multiplying to our original y. Alright, so then if we simplify those, we have E prime is now going to be negative 2 and 4. We just multiplied our original ordered pairs by a factor of 2. So then we can apply that same rule to H prime, which is going to be before 4, and T prime which is negative 2, negative 2. So again, since this is the image, we're going to go ahead and plot those points as we come over here to negative 2 and positive 4. This is going to be E prime. H prime is 4, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have T prime, which is negative 2, negative 2. And we should have the same shape, just a lot larger. And this is what we have. This is now going to be our image. Okay? And that will conclude our demonstration for dilations.